Tuesday, August 23rd, 2016, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. I like to talk about money creation this morning. I just was listening to LBC radio, which is the most popular talk show radio, I would say, in the UK. And Nick Ferrari, the top really host on that radio show, had a call from someone about debt, and why people are getting so much into debt. They were talking about that this morning. And the guy actually said the problem, Nick Ferrari, is with the monetary system because right now it's the banks that create money. And he said that 97% of the money is created by the commercial banks through loans. And he proposed that the system be changed and that the money creation be done by the UK Treasury or the government, which is something that existed prior to the creation of the Bank of England in 1694. The government could issue its own currency. Of course, it had to be backed by something of value. It's the sovereign privilege of a state to be able to issue its own money, but that's been taken over by the central banks, and the central banks are basically controlled by the big commercial banks, private banks. And Nick Ferrari said, "Oh, you're wrong. It's the Bank of England that creates money. You're full of rubbish." And he wouldn't listen to the guy. And it's amazing because, there's a paper published by the Bank of England in 2014. It's quarterly bulletin 2014, first quarter. And it's by a few of the Bank of England economists. Michael McLeary, Amar Radia, and Ryland Thomas. And the title of the bulletin is called Money Creation in the Modern Economy. And here on page 2, they say the following, Nick Ferrari. Listen carefully, Nick. It says money creation in reality. And this is the Bank of England saying it, Mr. Ferrari. It says lending creates deposits. Broad money determination at the aggregate level. As explained in Money in the Modern Economy, an introduction, broad money is a measure of the total amount of money held by households and companies in the economy. Broad money is made up of bank deposits, which are essentially IOUs from commercial banks to households and companies, and currency, mostly IOUs from the central bank. So there you go, Nick Ferrari. Yes, the Bank of England is the only bank that prints currency in England. I guess there are some other banks in Scotland and Northern Ireland that do it too. But in England, it's the Bank of England, and you're right, but that's only currency. And it goes on to say, mostly IOUs from central banks. Of the two types of broad money, bank deposits make up the vast majority, 97% of the amounts currently in circulation. And in the modern economy, those bank deposits are mostly created by commercial banks themselves. So there you have it, Nick Ferrari. Your caller was right, and you are wrong. And this is from the Bank of England. So if you think the Bank of England is wrong, give them a call and ask them. And how do the commercial banks create the deposits? Well, they lend out, because when they lend, let's say they lend Nick Ferrari £1,000, they will put that £1,000 on your account as a deposit. And then you can go and spend it with your debit card, or you might take out some currency like £100. But it's the commercial bank that created that £1,000. And the other thing, Mr. Ferrari, that the Bank of England says about these loans that the banks create out of thin air, it is out of thin air, because the Bank of England goes on to say as well, the vast majority of money held by the public takes form of bank deposits. But where the stock of bank deposit comes from is often misunderstood. One common misconception is that banks act simply as intermediaries, lending out the deposits that savers place with them. So there you have it. That's a misconception. And how do they create the deposits, or the loans? Out of thin air. And usually the rule of thumb is like a 10-to-1 leverage. So let's say if Nick Ferrari deposits £1 in the banks will lend Mr. Smith £10 and use your £1 as collateral. And that's called fractional reserve banking. So there you go, Mr. Ferrari. Your caller was right. You were wrong. The commercial banks create most of the money in the economy. Yes, the central bank creates the currency, but not most of the money. And now do you understand, Mr. Ferrari, why there were bank runs back in 07, 08? I remember, going out with my daughter and taking photos of all the people queuing outside Northern Rock. That's because there's not enough currency out there, to pay depositors. Only 3% of deposits are currency. So if everyone rushes to take their money out of the bank in the form of currency, the banks will collapse, Mr. Ferrari. And that's why the system's still in trouble. So there you have it. If you enjoy my video, please like, share, and subscribe. I also accept donations. I've got a few links below in the description for Bitcoin, PayPal, and Patreon. Take care. Bye.